Hey guys, this is Sports with Dylan. The NFL season is approaching rapidly, which means that I better start releasing some rankings, starting with the starting quarterback rankings. Some people are going to hate these rankings, but I will say these are rankings that I have altered slightly every single week of the NFL season last season. And I included different rankings for backup quarterbacks so that we would fully be able to figure out the starting quarterback rankings for this season. My point being, these, in my opinion, are fairly accurate rankings. I don't get it. I think there are many backup quarterbacks far better than Mayfield. Mayfield played awful last season with Carolina and only played slightly better in LA, where, true, the LA did not have any weapons for him. But they did have a way better coach with Sean McVay, who is great with quarterbacks. But even still, Baker Mayfield played mediocre at best. He is by far the worst starting quarterback in the league. This is the section of quarterbacks that I really don't know how they're going to play, honestly, because they have barely played in the NFL. Starting off with Sam Howell, a 2022 fifth-round pick. Sam Howell started the Commanders' last regular season game last season. And, yeah, I don't know what to say. He didn't play badly, but I didn't see much from him. But the Commanders went, hey, we think this guy's going to be pretty good. So they just said, hey, he's going to be the favorite to be the starting quarterback this season. And here we are. He is the Commanders' Week 1 starting quarterback. But he could very well lose the job to Jacoby Brissett if he doesn't play very well. Next up, we have Desmond Ridder, who is in a very similar position to Sam Howell. He started the Falcons' last couple games last season, and he didn't play amazing, but he didn't play awfully either. So, it's tough to say he'll play this season. Same thing with the Commanders. The Falcons do have a solid backup with Taylor Heinicke, who could end up taking the job from Ridder if he doesn't play well. Jordan Love was a first-round pick in 2020. I'm sure you all know his story. He was drafted behind Aaron Rodgers, then Aaron Rodgers went to win a couple MVPs, and then he still played well last season. But finally, in Love's 4th season, he'll finally get to start Week 1. And it's tough to say what we'll see from him. We've only seen him start one game where he didn't play great, but it was against the Chiefs. So I have no idea what we're going to see from Love. I was surprised that Anthony Richardson was the Colts' Week 1 starter. I think they're going to need to give him a bit more time to develop. And looking at Richardson, I figure maybe this will come back to bite me, but I suspect he's going to be a couple years before he develops into his full potential. It's going to be a long road for the Colts for the next couple of years with Anthony Richardson. Bryce Young could play well, could not play well. We have no idea. All I know is he was the first overall pick. He's a very good quarterback, and he has a bright future with the Panthers. But is that starting this season? I do not know. Why do I have CJ Stroud ranked above Bryce Young? Because that's how I had them in the draft rankings. Same thing here as Bryce Young, though. I have no idea how he's going to play. I'm sure he'll develop into a superstar someday, but I don't know if that day starts in a couple of weeks or if that day starts in a couple of years. Derek Carr had one of the worst seasons of his career last year. Ended up getting benched, surprisingly enough, by the Raiders. And then he was cut and signed by the Saints, who needed a new starting quarterback. Hopefully for the Saints' sake, Derek Carr can have a rejuvenating season, which I'm sure he will. A bounce-back season seems to be in order. Maybe this is a bit low for Smith, but He did play well for the first part of the season, but started to go downhill towards the end of the season, which got him brought to this place. I think he's still a good quarterback, but he's not a superstar quarterback. Mac Jones had a good rookie season and then went slightly downhill for his sophomore season. Bit of a sophomore slump, but he will be looking to bounce back this year. Kenny Pickett played fine in his rookie season. He didn't play badly, but it was nothing amazing either. This year, Kenny Pickett could look to build off that, or maybe he'll fall into a sophomore slump. Maybe this is too low for Kirk Cousins, but honestly, I think Justin Jefferson is carrying him. I don't think that he's that amazing of a quarterback. He's not bad, he provides good veteran leadership, but I don't think he's a superstar. Trevor Lawrence played better last season, way better than in his rookie season with Urban Meyer. Now he has Doug Peterson and could look to make a huge jump for year 3 with more weapons and more adjustment to Doug Peterson's system. Last year, I said I was surprised that the Giants gave Daniel Jones another year. I didn't think he deserved it. But here we are. Daniel Jones had the best season of his career last year. Still wasn't great, but he's not a bad quarterback. He's kind of like a Kirk Cousins or Ryan Tannehill, it's seeming like. I have loved Justin Fields from the start. And last year, I was so happy to see him break out into a much better quarterback than his rookie season. And this year, with even more weapons, a better offensive line, and just a better overall team, he should be even better as a quarterback. Brock Purdy played very well in his short stint with the 49ers last year. As a rookie, he went undefeated in the regular season. That guy, it's so amazing to see a success story like that. And we'll see, can Brock Purdy continue on with his success of last year? Or did the 49ers just make a massive mistake by handing virtually all their eggs to him? Ryan Tannehill is average. He is perfect for this 16th spot. He's never going to be a superstar, but he's never the worst quarterback in the league either. And this year should be the exact same. And hopefully he can stay healthy, although that could prove to be difficult with the Titans' offensive line. Jared Goff was a castaway in Los Angeles when they traded for Matthew Stafford. But Jared Goff these past couple of seasons, especially last year, has arguably been better than Stafford. Not something I'd quite argue yet, but Jared Goff has been pretty good. I will give him credit for that. And the Detroit Lions are looking to have an even better season this coming year. I've always liked Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he is a good quarterback. Sure, he struggles with injuries, but when healthy, I think he is a top 15 quarterback. No question. Matthew Stafford hasn't been great. These past couple of years, despite winning the Super Bowl, he has thrown so many interceptions. Especially last year, where he ended up getting injured, so that's why he's still here in my rankings. I should explain that injuries in my rankings don't count, so you don't get lowered just because you're injured, you kind of stay in the same place. So, Matthew Stafford could continue to fall if he keeps up his pace and stays healthy this season. Dak Prescott didn't have a great season last year either. Honestly, he threw quite a few interceptions and just didn't seem to have it, despite CeeDee Lamb, his number one wideout, having the best season of his career. But this year, hopefully for Dak Prescott's sake, he can stay healthy and bounce back. Russell Wilson was atrocious last season, especially for the fact that the Broncos paid 2 first-round picks to the Seahawks to get him. But hopefully with Sean Payton instead of Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson can be way better this year. Aaron Rodgers wasn't great last season. Honestly, I thought he was way worse than most analysts seem to think right now. Now, I don't think he was awful, but he should bounce back with the Jets with more weapons. Deshaun Watson missed the first part of the season with a suspension. Once he came back, he was not very good. He wasn't awful, he just wasn't very good. He was not worth 3 first-round picks. Hopefully, he tears his ACL and has the worst season of his career this year. I loved watching Tua break out. I like Tua. I've liked him from the start, and I was happy to see him finally properly perform. Although injuries could be a concern for the Dolphins, I think they need to give him a better offensive line. They didn't do anything on the offensive line this whole offseason. Hopefully, though, Tua can stay healthy and play like this again this coming season. If you were to ask me who I thought the most overrated quarterback in the NFL is right now, I might have to say Josh Allen. Don't get me wrong, I think he's easily a top 10 quarterback, but I don't think he's top 5. I think he throws too many interceptions, and I honestly think for the weapons he has, he should be slightly better. Maybe he can perform better this coming season, but last season he definitely did not have it the same way. And now on to what is arguably the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Nowadays, analysts are ranking Kyler Murray in the mid-20s. Did they forget that Kyler Murray actually had some pretty good seasons? Even last year, given what the Cardinals, the rest of the team played like, Kyler Murray wasn't that bad. Now, I would prefer someone like Josh Allen, honestly, below him, because of his attitude. I don't love Kyler Murray's attitude and enthusiasm, while I like Josh Allen's more. But as a quarterback, then Kyler Murray is still pretty good. Although he is going to miss the first part of the season with a torn ACL, we'll see if he does return how he will play with this team. He could drop significantly given what the Cardinals look like right now. Some people are going to be shocked that Joe Burrow is down at 5. I think this top 5, honestly, could all be mixed up. There are so many star quarterbacks right now in the NFL, young stars especially, that this whole top 5 could be thrown around. I don't think Joe Burrow is the number 1 quarterback in the league, or even the number 2, or number 3, or number 4. But he is still a very, very good starting quarterback. Jalen Hurts, who is the runner-up for the NFL MVP last season, had a very good season. I think analysts are underrating that right now. Last year, they were talking about him being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now they're saying, oh yeah, maybe he's top 5, but Joe Burrow and Josh Allen are way better. But when you look at it, Jalen Hurts had a great season last year. The fact that Justin Herbert is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, and yet only the second best quarterback in his own division, is just crazy. Justin Herbert, I think, is another quarterback who hasn't been ranked highly enough. When I watched him last season, I went, holy crap, this kid is on fire. I think coaching has dragged him down a bit, but I think Justin Herbert, as a quarterback, is easily a top 3 NFL quarterback. You might be shocked with me right now. Remember at the beginning when I said that you might hate these rankings? Yeah, now you can see why. As I mentioned before, injuries are a difference maker. Injuries don't make you significantly worse. So I watch your play before you're injured and just assume that you kept that play up the entire rest of the season. You'll see why I'm talking about that in a moment. But Patrick Mahomes had an amazing season, especially with the weapons he had. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think he was quite the top quarterback in the league. That would be Lamar Jackson. And now you can see why I was talking about injuries. Because Jackson missed the last couple games this season, which is why he wasn't remotely in contention for the MVP. But I believe if he had played out the entire season, that he would have won the NFL MVP because he played extremely well for the first part of the season. He was widely underrated and it went under the radar, but he played very well. So there you go. Those are all 32 NFL starting quarterbacks ranked for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys again soon.